Well, you know, any small town was formed along a creek for a water source, and this creek, as far as I know, was never used to provide a lumber mill or a feed mill or a grist mill, but it provided a water source. It was a place for the people to congregate. I mean, the creek was where the town was formed.
This is my home territory. I grew up on the Shell Creek northwest of Newman Grove, and it's always been our creek. My brother and I, we spent oodles of time on the Shell Creek, and probably more than we should have, according to my mom, but we grew up less than a mile away from the Shell Creek.
The Shell Creek Watershed Project has always been part of our school.
We started the Shell Creek Watershed Project back in 2002.
Farming systems over the years have really evolved into pretty much a corn-soybean rotation. Now, corn and soybeans are very important crops in our country, but on the other hand, soybeans are probably the worst crop we can raise as far as soil erosion is concerned.
We could see an increased erosion and flooding problem, and we just got together and decided that we ought to do something about it.
They wanted to try and make some improvements in the farming practices along the Shell Creek, and they felt the only way that they could know whether improvements were being made is if you know where you're at now. So we started out collecting baseline data, and since they liked the baseline data and what we were doing, they asked if we would continue. It's strictly a summer program, completely voluntary. We take 2 days at the end of May.
One of the first stages we go through when we first start in the month of May is teaching, because we had a lot of newbies is what we call them this year. So we had to teach them all the different tests we do, how to run the tests, making sure they do the right procedures.
And then we take 2 days in June, 2 days in July, and 2 days just before school starts in August. And that way we've got a full summer's scope of information.
When I came to help load the vans, they're getting out these hip waders that come up to their chest, rubber boots, gloves, and long extensions, and then they get into the creek, and that's where they are. They're in the creek, and that was amazing to me.
My biggest responsibility is usually keeping track of data and running the chemical tests.
Yeah, we have 9 different chemical tests that we do.
Dissolved oxygen. We have biological oxygen demand needs to be done.
Nitrates, phosphates.
I'm the nitrate guru, have been since I started.
pH, turbidity.
We've got a fecal coliform test. I'm probably missing a couple, but there are 9 tests to a standard called a water quality index number, and that says whether the water is poor quality, fair quality, good quality, or excellent quality.
To see these kids working out here, that's really, well, that's the best part.
The first impression I had with this was it was amazing what the kids were willing to do, that they were here on their own voluntary reasons, and they are not afraid to get in the water, to get dirty, and they have a lot of fun.
It means a lot to have my grandfather by my side.
This is my third granddaughter. My oldest granddaughter on my son's side, she was in the original one. Brooke this is her thing, and she couldn't wait to get started. As a summer program, you'd think that, well, they can find something better to do, but it's not. This is their thing. It's a badge of honor.
I'm definitely going to be back next year after I graduate and be still continuing the project.
People appreciate what I do, and it's fun. There's a lot of memories that we make here, and it's just a good thing to be a part of.
It means a lot to me to be able to give back and to do my part in making a difference.
They put on a program at the community center, and we might have 80 people there watching. I mean, it's really a really good thing to see the community come together for a common purpose.
I think it's helped a lot of the farmers to figure out where all of their soil's going and different aspects like that. It really helps when the community listens to us, and it's when you walk into our city cafe or you walk into the grocery store and, oh, how's the water sampling going? And that really, really makes you feel like you're doing something special.
The changes in the students, they've gained confidence, and they can do this, and we can do this, and we will do this.
Most science is learned in classrooms, and unfortunately most science is learned out of cookbook labs where we already know what the answers are going to be before we ever start the lab. And that stuff needs to be done. It does. To learn the concept, to learn the technique, we do need to be in the classroom to learn the concepts. But if you're ever going to get students excited about science, they have to be out and do it and discover things that are not known yet.
And that's why Nebraska loves
Our public schools.
Nebraska loves
Our public schools.
Nebraska loves
Our public schools.
Nebraska loves
our public schools.